we looking at?
Stupid battle droids, get out of the way! Hello there. This is General Grievous, and you are watching Southern Comic Geek.
Roger, roger.
What is going on, YouTube? It's Southern Comic Geek coming to you with the last of the preview shows prior to going to Dallas Fan Expo. And if you've been watching the previous shows, the one that was here on this channel last week at the same time, or the one that was on Shelby Comics' channel earlier this week, or last week, depending on how you do the days. But nevertheless, there was a video on his channel. You guessed it. That's right. We've got Shelby Comics with us. What's up?
What's up, man? I'm more excited than a jackrabbit trapped in a carrot patch.
Come on. That's pretty exciting. Well, yeah, so this is our third preview show, and we're going to be talking about some of the things surrounding going to a con like Dallas Fan Expo. Now, before we get into all that, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe button to include Shelby's. Shelby's links are in the video description below. So if you're not familiar with Shelby, you never subbed him up, go give him a sub up. It'll make him feel warm and fuzzy inside. Echo.
That was me. Sorry. I was smashing that like button.
There you go. Also, a lot of exciting things aside from Dallas Fan Expo. I have the second channel exclusive that's going live next week while I'm at Dallas Fan Expo. So a video has already been pre-recorded and will be going up. So be sure to hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything like that, and follow me over on Instagram for other announcements related to that. Now, as many of you probably are aware, we do a membership giveaway every single month. So it pays to be a member. These are our channel members, people that support the channel through their monthly membership or ships, whether on YouTube and or Patreon. We do appreciate those channel supporters. And that's how you can enter to win the monthly giveaway. You get 10 entries per membership, or if you do a super chat, like on live shows like this one, for every $1 super chat, you get 1 entry to win, or some people go and do all 3. In either case, this month's giveaway is going to be a regular, a foil, and a gold copy of the aforementioned second exclusive that's going to be announced this week. So you want to check that out. There's only 5 of the gold, so you're going to be one of only 5 people that's going to have one of those. Only 10 of the foil and only 40 of the regulars. Also, with channel members, you get a 10% discount on that. So not only do you get an entry to win, maybe a free one, but if you decide that you want to buy one on the side, you're feeling like your luck's not good enough, whatever, you will get a 10% discount. So if you think about the price of that, which is going to be announced in that video I mentioned, then the $2.99 YouTube membership certainly pays for itself. What's going on, Geek Out with Roscoe? What is happening, my man? We got 5 folks in the chat, some watching us on Twitch, some on YouTube. In either case, we do appreciate you. But yeah, so in talking with Shelby, decided let's talk about some con etiquette, if you will. That means that you don't chase cosplayers around, Shelby. No female cosplayers.
No, I got in trouble for that before.
And if you're on Shelby's channel when we talked about the last week, when we talked about the things that were going on at the con, because there's a ton load of stuff going on at this con. Yes, the dating scene, the Padawan room, that will all get you in trouble. What is going on, Starscream? Another one of the channel members in the house. Till all are one. As I was thinking about today's show, I was just thinking about things that we could try to impart to some other people that might be going to Dallas Fan Expo or other cons, because when I was growing up, a con was simply a room in a hotel and a whole bunch of loan boxes, right?
The conference room, not an actual hotel room with like comic books sitting on a bed. The conference room of the hotel.
Right.
Just to be specific.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Shelby's never tried any of the aforementioned. So, but now cons are a really big thing, so much so that it's not really just about us comic book nerds. It's about the cosplay. It's about all the other fanfare that goes around surrounding those pop culture items. And coming out of COVID, we have people are starting to get back into the con scene, especially down towards the South. I know that in some states it's still not really a reality just yet. But going to a small con, like one that's in your backyard versus a Dallas Fan Expo, huge difference. I know that my first big con was probably Louisville Comic or Galaxy Con. It doesn't exist anymore, but Galaxy Con, it was amazing. It blew my mind. And the reason why it blew my mind, Geek Out Roscoe says I need to go to a con.
You need to go to a con.
Yeah, and the reason why it blew my mind is because I had my list of my books, but I mean, it's just like so overwhelming. I just get this like nerd overload, right? And it's like all this cool stuff like right here, and I'm never going to be able to get through it all. So we want to talk about some of maybe our experiences tonight, and also some of my thoughts as I've prepared for this con. I don't know how Shelby prepares, and he can certainly share that. Any thoughts thus far on that, Shelby?
No. This is a bigger con. There's a lot of different sizes from, like we talked about, the old days of the conference room at a hotel. This con, I want to say, is at least 10,000 people. I'm not sure if they have. We have a con coming up called Comic Palooza in July down here, and we usually do around 25 to 30,000 people. So like it takes up the largest convention center here in Houston. So yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming. Cosplay is not consent is kind of the motto. So, always be respectful of the hot chicks in cosplay. Though most people are usually pretty cool about getting pictures taken because, that's what they actually want to do. They want to show off, the things that they've made and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, wear comfortable shoes.
Big plus.
Big plus. Hey, Captain Comics, welcome.
Happy-
Haven't seen you in a while.
Happy birthday, Captain Comics. What's going on? And hopefully you and Tori are doing okay.
Yeah, wear comfortable shoes. I'm not a short person. I'm not short either. I'm about 6 foot tall. But I don't like wearing shorts to cons. I prefer longer pants, usually not blue jeans, some comfortable khakis myself, a t-shirt, something like that, because there's a lot of people you touch up against. And with coming out of COVID, I just be honest, I don't, things get crowded and squeezing through crowds and stuff. I definitely like wearing long pants. That's just me.
Yeah, I do as well. And talking about the comfortable shoes, the first time I went to Huntsville Comic Con, I thought I would dress the part. I have some Kids, if you know what those are, just like simple slip-on shoes. They're Marvel Kids. So they're very stylish and fitting for where I was at.
No.
My back
was killing. I did the same thing. I wore like flat shoes one time, kind of like that, and my back was killing me. Wear running shoes or something like that has good arch support so your back's not killing you.
Because you're on that concrete, you don't think about it when you're sitting there
it's
diving
all
into
concrete.
You don't think nothing about it. You're like, man, I've just found one, and you're putting all these books out. You might see some people, next thing you know, it's the whole day's gone and you've been on that concrete, and it's killer on your back. But yeah, so I would say shoes would definitely be a big plus, or your attire overall. But have a plan. You know, when you go in there, especially if it's your first con, maybe it's your first big con, you want to go in there with an idea. This is what I want to do. Okay, if I only have time to do these three things, these are the three things I want to do. If it's a signature, whether it's looking for a certain book, whatever it is, you want to prioritize. Because I've got a whole list of people that I want to get signatures, but some of them are priority over others, right? You know, people that I might not see, like for instance, Matina does not come here very often. So he is definitely one that's higher up on the list for that reason. Maybe an older person would be higher up on the list. Like if I got another chance to see Jim Steranko, I've got a couple of books I'd like to get him to sign. He would be high on the list because, hey, realistically speaking, how long is he going to be here?
Yeah, last week we looked at we were on Wednesday, I think, was on my channel, and we did look at the map of the layout of the conference center. Luckily, we've been to this conference center a couple of times, so we know the layout. Sometimes those maps can be a little bit confusing, especially with this conference center, because it's almost it's a weird triangle, because you go in and they got this weird separate room for registration, and then you get really confused, but you actually are just making a circle and coming back around. Then you have to go all the way back around this other area through this other security area. So there's actually two security areas you go through, one to get your registration, one to go into the con, and then you go into through this other area. But I always, the three things I look for is, of course, the main floor. What is my main entrance that I'm walking in? Just to get my bearings. Artist alley, and then celebrities. Those are usually my main three. And if getting autographs is high on my list, like ranking, like Jason said, then I usually try to find Artist Alley first. And I'll even ask the person at the door when I first walk in, what's my quickest way to the artist, not the celebrities.
Right.
Sometimes there's a main food court, like there is in this one, a main food court set up. Sometimes they're just vendors stacked around. I normally don't eat at conventions. I'll just be honest with you. The food's too expensive, but I will buy water. So I'm always looking for my water vendors. I've got to see Stan Lee a couple of times, and I got 2 autographs from him, but you couldn't get within a couple of feet of him, so you couldn't actually meet him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not. That's Alan Bellman and Neil Adams. I both got to meet, and I'm glad I did, because obviously in those 2 instances, not here no more. So unfortunately, I never got to meet Stan Lee. But yeah, so what Shelby was talking about in kind of getting your bearings straight, at least for me, initially when I got into that con, I was like, okay, I got to hit the boxes. I've got to get the deals before everybody else gets the deals. But when it comes to comic cons, a lot of times the opposite is true, right? You get the better deals the longer you wait. So, it might be your inclination, and maybe if you were looking for a certain book, and give you an example of this, Batman 251, I bought it on the con floor, and I took it over to Neil Adams and got him to sign it. You might have a situation like that, but overall, you'd be better off scoping and scouting out the place, and then getting your bearings, because you make better deals towards the end of the week, because they don't want to ship that stuff home.
No.
And if you're putting bundle deals, they're more likely to make a deal as well.
That's right.
So,
I rarely shop first. I find Artist Alley first, get my signatures done. Sometimes there's only certain times they are going to be doing signatures, and that's not always posted in the program. So I usually walk Artist Alley first, find whom I'm looking for by their names, see if they're there, and then if they're not, when they're going to be there.
Right.
Oh, there's something else I was going to grab too. Sorry, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah. So another tip is to bring as much cash as you feel comfortable with carrying, because you're going to make the better deals with the cash. Now, some of the creators only accept cash for their signatures or, remarks or whatever you get them to do. So keep that in mind. So budget out, and you want to do this prior to getting to the con, because the ATM is only going to give you so much money. I myself have been guilty of going, oh man, forgot all, because I don't ever carry cash these days. And so I go to the ATM the morning of the con, and only let you get $200 to $300 out, and then you're like, okay, rationing it off throughout the day, because there's some places that would give you better deals, and you miss out on that if you don't have the cash available.
Yeah. Let me say is I always go to the bank to get money out, because I want the little envelopes that they give you the cash in. Normally I'll ask for 2 or 3 of those envelopes, and I'll split up my cash into separate envelopes. ATMs are usually there, but they're limited. Second is some vendors will take cards, but that's not always secure. A couple of years ago at Compalooza, they did have a big deal with people's credit cards being stolen by people using Square at vendors. Those things aren't secure because they are having to use the Wi-Fi within the facility.
Sure.
And if that's facility, because it's all concrete, like Jason said, so they're not going to get a signal on their freaking phone. Okay, they're going to have to use the facility's Wi-Fi, and if that's compromised, then your information is compromised. So cash, break it up in separate envelopes. I normally do not keep my cash in my wallet. I usually am wearing, I even have a pair of pants that I call my con pants, which are cargo pants. Mm-hmm. So I have different pockets all over them. And so I keep different envelopes of cash in my cargo pants. And I'm pointing to my thighs. The big pockets, because I've never had anybody pickpocket me, but I know at cons in New Orleans they actually warn you about pickpockets. Mm-hmm. They warn you that on the street, but so I rarely keep anything in my wallet. I usually actually keep my wallet in my backpack, so that way I won't lose my ID or anything like that. Because you never know. Again, you're bumping, you're pushing through crowds and stuff. So just protect yourself with your valuables.
So going back to kind of the comfort aspect of the deal and going prepared, kind of merging those two thought processes together, I always bring my wagon. So if anybody's ever seen me at a con, I take this big giant wagon. It's really designed for the little kids, but I confiscated it not too long after my wife purchased it for cons. Because one, I don't want to buy books and it get destroyed. I'm bad about leaving comics at places. Like I have multiple stacks, and then I might buy something and then I forget about it, and then I left it over there, and in the crazy hubbub of a whole con. What's going on, MC? How are you?
Yeah, what's up, MC?
But yeah, so I mean that happens, and so that's why I have the wagon. The other reason why I have the wagon, going to what Shelby was talking about, I'm not going to say which pocket or all that kind of stuff that I put in, but a lot of times that's where I hide my stuff. And most people are not going to think to look there. Also, it is a good way to move people out of the way, because when you got a wagon, people do not want to get nicked in the back of their their shins or get hit in the shins or their Achilles with that wagon. So they will get out of the way. And so that's one of the other good things about having that wagon, because I've got my portfolio. So if you're an original art buyer, or if you like pinups or posters or whatever, that portfolio will help keep that thing from getting all bent up. Or slabs. A couple of years ago, Jim Lee came out with this backpack that was intentionally for cons. It has the markers and all that other kind of stuff in there. It's really neat, but it's really expensive too. And it's still a backpack that you're lugging around all day, and you're feeling like this, by the end of the day. Because if you could cut down on having to go back and forth to your car, that's less walking, less time away from getting stuff done. People move for wagons. That's right. And what Shelby was talking about, going to the artist alley first. Like, I like sketches, and so that's my first stop too. I'm going to line up who I want to get the sketches done with, because they need time to do it. And I'm wanting to pick it up before I get through with the con. And so I've got to get to them first before everybody else, for their list gets filled up. Right. And you can normally get all that done. And then there's time to hunt. There'll be time to get all those deals on the comics later.
Yeah, I would definitely say, we're going to talk about that here in a second, what I do. Because while I like the red wagon that Jason uses, I'm not going to do a wagon. And MC, I did talk to Jeff this morning, and Jeff does have one of those medals if you're interested. So I told him that you might be reaching out. He said definitely do so. He's got one of those medals if you want, for good boy or bad boy or whatever it was. Fridays are a great day to get signatures and stuff, because the crowds are not as bad. Here's what I use. All the comics that I'm getting signed, I put into this. This is about $15 at your LCS. It's hard plastic with a magnet that closes it. Yeah.
Signatures you get. Just got to show off.
I've got the small box. Yeah. I'm not, I want one or two because it's just for me. I'm not going to say crazy person, but I kind of did. I have two of these though, and usually it holds about 10 to 12 books, and I take the tape off. Take the tape off of all my bags. As I go up to the person, I pull all the comic books out of the bags, set them down in front of them, sign them. We blow on it and stuff. I put them back in the bag, slip them back in here, and then this goes in my backpack. This is a great thing that I use for my signature books. Also, I, for the longest time, could not find a backpack that was big enough. And what I did is I actually wrote down all the things I wanted out of the backpack, which was a front pocket, a side pocket, and a large rectangular space that, because some backpacks, they have a concave and you stick stuff in there and it'll fold together. But I want a large rectangular space. What I found was actually this is a backpack made for diapers. Where you can set 2 rows of diapers, and it's perfectly rectangular on the inside and a very large mouth, to be able to fit a ton of comic books in here. This thing is freaking huge. It's comfortable. No laptop backpacks. No, those suck. They're too small. It has this thing where I can close it, and then it has a lid. This thing, and it's comfortable because it's made for moms and stuff to wear, and such. So it's super comfortable. The only weird thing is on one side, it has a thing for where you can open up a thing of wet wipes. But actually, that's not a bad thing, because I use the hell out of wet wipes at cons. You don't know what you're touching, who you're touching. I'm telling you, having a thing of wet wipes to carry with you actually is not a bad thing, and having it fit on your backpack, is actually pretty good. Yeah. It's got a nice front pocket with Velcro. It's got a zipped pocket on the side, and this thing is just super comfortable. It's got padding. I love this. So a diaper backpack. I went to a baby store and pick this up, and this has been great. What I also do, usually the cons sell them. This is from the same con we went to last year. These big bags. This thing holds a ton of stuff, and it's super durable. So I'll take one of these with me to cons, and so larger items and stuff, I'll stick in here and carry around with me. And then when I'm standing somewhere, I'll just, put it down between my legs, or between my feet, I should say. And it works super great. So those are my two things that I use at cons.
And with all these things that we're mentioning, obviously people can do without them, right? These are in ideal circumstances. I mentioned finding the Batman 251 and taking it straight to Neil Adams. But if you're planning on getting your stuff slabbed via CBCS or CGC, CBCS at Dallas Fan Expo is actually doing grading, their own site grading, because they're out of Dallas. And they're going to hold up my books that have been there for a year for your books if you drop them off there. But I'm not mad about that or nothing. But you want to make sure that you visit the CBCS or CGC table first.
Yeah.
You've got to get them to go over there with you to witness the signature for it to be counted as witness, which is cheaper. And for CGC's case, for you to get that yellow label.
Yeah. Say hi to a couple people real quick. I think I said hi to Starscream. Hello, Matthew Fox. Great to see you again, my friend. Hello, Hoarders Hide, and hello, Steven Spock. Find your CBCS, CGC tables, like Jason said. If you want something slabbed, they have to witness it. So make sure that they can go with you, or with the larger artists that are set up. They say, "Oh, we have a gallery over there." Just tell them before you walk up.
Yeah. So also, Tyler Kirkham, when I saw him a few years ago, he had his own person.
Yeah. He had his own personal. Hey, Sleeping Collectibles. And let me give you a hint.
Yeah.
If you're getting a comic book signed by a celebrity, not like an artist writer, you can actually, instead of waiting in those long ass celebrity lines, and if you just want the signature and it's slabbed, they'll do it for you.
There you go. Sleeping Collectibles just surpassed 5,000 subscribers.
What?
Congratulations. I remember when this guy was just getting started, shot up like a weed. We ran into, talk about cons, we ran into each other at ICCC, but he was too busy to talk to a little old channel like mine. Big guy, but I do appreciate Sleeping Collectibles for being a channel supporter and being in here. All jokes aside, and congratulations on hitting 5,000. But so if you're going to do that, keep in mind that pressing almost anything, even a book that just maybe came out of from Diamond a couple weeks ago, almost always is beneficial to you. So if you can prep, if you know you're going to a con and you know that person is going to be at the con, you want to go ahead and send your books to the applicable presser, have somebody press them for you, whatever, so that you can have them back in time to get them signed at the con, because CGC and CBCS both offer in-house pressing services, but their services are already so long, it's going to take even longer to get that.
It's usually 4 to 6 months just for the pressing process. They're so far behind. But prep your stuff ahead of time. Like I said, if you're getting a celebrity sign a comic book, you can usually get CBCS or CGC to get it signed for you. So that way you don't have to stand in the long ass line and then have it slabbed. Please be sure and also sub me up if y'all are brand new, and I'm trying to get to 500. Please hit that link below in the description, or just type in a search for Shelby's Comics in YouTube and give me a sub. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so Matthew Fox, I can't speak for Shelby, but I know I will not be going to San Diego Comic Con.
No.
That and New York Comic Con, and also C2E2 are definitely on the top of my wish list.
Yeah, I may go to New York because I have been invited by some people to come up there. So.
Yep. So because San Diego Comic Con is going on in July. The other problem with San Diego Yeah, they do have a few comics. They do have a few comics. And the other thing with the bigger cons, the benefit to them is that some of the people that don't go to the smaller cons, which Fan Expo is not the largest con, but it's definitely a bigger one. You know, some people you will not get at anywhere but the huge cons because of their schedule. They just don't want to waste their time, whatever. But San Diego Comic Con is in Cali, obviously, and I know that the Star Wars, what they call it, con that just went on, anniversary. They call it something. I forget what it is. Anyhow, that just went on. They're still having to wear a mask out there, and I did that, you know, during the course of when the pandemic was the pandemic or whatever. No thanks. I'm not going to wear one unless I have to. So there you go. Star Wars
Celebration. That's it. Yeah, Star Wars Celebration. I must apologize. I'm not wearing my bottom thing today because my teeth hurt. So if it looks like I'm missing teeth, I am missing teeth. But
we're to your highest, yeah. And you know that I know that everybody is glad to get back into the swing of things, especially some of these creators, because that's where they thrive. Well, like Chris Claremont told me, because in the height of the pandemic, they had Huntsville Comic Expo still, and nobody died, but everybody was wearing masks, obviously. But Chris Claremont had, I told him, I said, well, I appreciate you not canceling like everybody else. He said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Thanks, but it's not as noble as it sounds. He said, this is where a lot of my money comes from, right? And, you know, not having cons is eating into my incomes. So,
right. He's not picking up a lot of writing gigs nowadays, right?
Right.
A little something about buying comics and stuff. Normally when I'm walking, you'll have bigger dealers that of course have very large displays and stuff. I'll usually do a quick scan. Of course, I forgot to grab it, but I have a little notebook with a list of things I'm looking for. I kind of think ahead of time. One thing I would always say is if it's a con you know you're coming back to or you want to become regular at, start making connections with certain dealers. You know, ask them, hey, are you from here? Are you local? You know, because you never know where those dealers are from. And if you're visiting, you know, I mean, Jason could be in Dallas talking to a dealer. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm over here in Georgia. And that might be closer for Jason to actually go see them in Georgia, even though he meets them way over here in Dallas and stuff, right?
Right.
So pick up their cards. Ask them if they have an online presence. Anything like that to build rapport with these people. Don't be rude in asking deals, you know. If they already have something a good deal, don't, you know, insult them because those tables are expensive. They're about $800 per 6-foot table. So, you know, they're having to recoup a couple thousand before they even see profit, not to mention then their trip, hotel, and all that stuff they're paying for, usually a couple of employees. So while, yes, there are deals to be made, you know, they've got to make their money and stuff too. Also, if you're like really, really into it, again, I'm not sure if they have a list of the dealers on the website or not. They used to post that ahead of time, who the dealers were. And you could even call them up and say, hey, I see you're going to be at such and such con. Do you have such and such book? Can you bring it to the con? And stuff. I know that I've done that with Duncanville and Andy and stuff before. So Orders Hide wings it. Yeah, you know.
Well, the thing about Scott though is that he ain't gonna buy anything unless it's like Golden Age. So he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
No, unless it's Bunny Mask. Now that's kind of his you know, guilty pleasure book. But who are some of the under the radar artists both like to visit at cons? when you say under the radar artist, I always find somebody that's more of a local flavor that I didn't know about until I get to see their work, and I'm right there, and I'm like, this is awesome, and I pick up a piece from them. Or like a creator, they might have a smaller table. I might not be familiar with their indie comic book, be able to pick up stuff from them that way.
Yeah, you're gonna have two flavors of people. You're gonna have a lot of people setting up, just selling their art, right? They have no interest in being in comic books or being a comic book artist. They just like drawing. They make cool things and they sell a bunch of prints. Okay, right. And that's all great and fine. I myself tend to kind of seek out, like Jason said, the independent comic book makers. So I kind of look for those. They'll have such and such press, right? Which is maybe a small indie company. And yeah, I'll check out their stuff, and support them. Pay $5, buy a comic book from them, man. It's not going to be worth $1 million, but, guess what? You're supporting a struggling independent comic book creator. And who knows? They may go on to be hot at Marvel or something like that. But
yeah, and not only people that have maybe never done the big two, but also people like Bob McLeod. So Bob McLeod, in the 80s was, one of the Marvel guys. I mean, he was one of the co-creators of New Mutants. So he's first artist for the first, 10 issues, I think, of the series as well. But he's a nice guy. He's not really doing a lot of new work. And so a lot of the other people that are coming to the cons, they're going to seek out the Donny Cateses of the world. They're going to seek out the other bigger names of the people they know they're currently reading. And so I like to see those guys, again, not knowing how long you're going to have them with you, and they can tell you all kinds of good stuff. I tell you, and if you talk to like Jim Shooter, he'll talk all day long. But like with Michael Golden, Shelby mentioned establishing those relationships with those con vendors, because you might run into them. Like Mario, he's like at every con I go to. And I pick up, a couple books here and there. He was showing me a bunch of original art that he had dove into last time. But with establishing those relationships with Michael Golden, he was like he had a very hard shell. So, I mean, if you just went up there and talked to him, whatever, kind of one of these guys that's kind of grizzled and cynical about the whole industry, having been in it as long as he has. But once you got to talking to him, if he realizes, hey, this is a guy who likes my work, this is a guy who's not sitting there just trying to flip the next latest, greatest thing on eBay, not trying to make $100,000 off me, whatever, right? Then he was very more forthcoming, with his conversation. When I got that row piece from him, originally I said, how much would it be and I laid out kind of what I wanted or had in mind. And he said, it's going to be this much. And I said, whoa, yeah, we're going to have to scale it back. So he said, well, all right, well, we'll do something for this much. Well, by the time he said, I'll take care of you on the sketch. He did exactly what I was looking for the lower price. And once he saw that it was for me and I wasn't trying to turn around and flip it, he wasn't really worried about it. Says, I love going to the tails with no line and striking up. Yeah. And they happy to have some. Exactly.
They are.
Yeah.
Joe
Rubenstein is another one that's very hard-nosed, and, some of it's just their personality. And so once you get past that and they get to talking to you, they're a little more forthcoming. Stan.
Yeah. And I had a similar experience with Michael Golden, but I took something really obscure for him to sign, so he knew that was there. But I'll tell you, one of my favorite stories is Herb Trimpe, the person that, of course, drew Hulk 181. And I was standing there talking to him, and I said, man, I really want to get a print And he said, "Oh, which one do you want?" And I said, "I tell you what, will you actually pick what's your favorite one?" And he said, "No one's ever asked me to pick my own favorite piece of art." And he reached over and he said, I don't, he's like, "No one ever wants this, but it's my favorite one." And it was Transformers.
Oh, okay.
And he gave me the little story about how he came up with the idea and drawing it and everything. And it was just a great experience to really get to sit down and visit with him a little bit and hear that story.
Yeah, and then people like Herb Trimpe. Obviously, he's gone on to different things now. He passed away, and you always got that memory.
And I tell you a couple of things. I'll save that one. I'll tell Jason this story privately. I'll share that story. But
well,
yeah.
and because I know I've been guilty of it, is getting into the mechanics of it. And if the hobby becomes a mechanical thing, and look, I sell comic books just like Shelby does, and try to fund some of my addictions here. So definitely nothing wrong with that. But if it gets to be so much like where it's like a job and stuff, it's like, all right, I'm out. I'm not looking for another job.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
You can get caught up in that, going to the cons, and look, be there for the experience, right? Those conversations with Herb Trimpe, I don't know how much money Shelby made off of that, but he's always got that experience, right? So
I make them sign it to Shelby so they know that it's not being sold unless to another person named Shelby.
Well, and talking about that, I know Larry Hama did the same thing for me. If you get it personalized, they don't charge you for the signature, because they know unless I'm selling it to somebody else, it says to Jason. Of course, I got Robinson, Jerry Robinson, one of the co-creators of Robin and Joker. I got an art piece from him, a Joker art piece from him, and it's made out to somebody else. Little did they know, I didn't care. It's a Robinson piece that you're never going to be able to get again, obviously. Dick Ayers was always great. Mandrake Shooter and like
Bob Layton was super great to talk to. He's very open about a lot of things with his past. I actually did the same thing with him. I said, "What was your favorite thing and to do?" And he said, "I did an Iron Man cover with Hercules on it."
Uh-huh.
And it was to prove to Marvel that Hercules could be a seller, and that turned into him being able to do the Hercules miniseries. So, that was an interesting story. So if y'all are thinking about also doing some content, I think we had a couple of suggestions. One, for the longest time, I just been using my good old phone. I bought this little guy here that I can clip my phone into. Really easy to carry around. There's an external microphone for it somewhere. I just saw it here a little while ago. A little external microphone, and I put the fuzzy on it because people always make fun that it looks like a tribble. So I tell people to talk into the tribble. But I've been doing my content with this for a long, long time, and it's worked out just great. I have now moved up to this Canon, which is real nice. It's about $600 or so. It came with this little holding stand, which is very convenient to hold and move around. It's got, I accidentally just hit the button. It's got a little button here on the bottom for you to press record and stop. Then it also folds out into a tripod. So you can set it up and do interviews and things like that if you want to.
So does it, when you say tripod, does it just that size, or does it go
No,
down?
no, it's just that size. It's only that size that you have there. But it's been very convenient. I paid, I think $40 for this Rode shotgun mic. So there's two different mics, a directional mic, which is going to be more right in front of the microphone. Then there's going to be the shotgun mic, which will kind of pick up in a cone shape in front. So I go with the shotgun mics. This has the screen that flips. So when I'm holding it towards me, I can see what's on the screen, which I really like. And then flip it back around for whenever I'm shooting that away. And the cat is giving me a bath. So that's been really great. And then this bag is a little bit bigger than what I wanted when I ordered it. I wish I had a smaller camera bag, but I keep at least 2 batteries and 2 external memory cards with me. On this trip, since Jason and I have an obligation, right? We actually have press passes, so they expect us to actually do content. I'm going to carry with me one of my tripods. This is I don't think this thing cost me about $30, but it's a 5-foot or 6-foot tripod. I think it's a 6-foot tripod. So it can easily fold open. You know, it's got quick releases for the legs, a little screw mount for your camera, and then we can set it up and, you know, both be in the shot and talk and stuff. So that'll be a great thing. I normally don't carry this with me, but since Jason has the wagon, we'll be able to do that. Plus, we'll be doing the wagon cam. That's what I want to do more than anything is have the camera in the wagon and Jason just drag it around, and we'll have the wagon cam for some of the content. But yeah, think ahead on that. I have a hand strap for this, so if I drop it, it won't fall on the ground and break. There's another hand strap that goes on the camera itself. Usually I have both hand straps on there. So yeah, just kind of think ahead and such. Even with doing the phone, I still got an external mic because phone mics usually suck. They are made for taking pictures, not for voices or anything. So if you want to do any kind of narration, like, hey guys, here I am at the Comic-Con, let's meet such and such. You want an external microphone, you can pick these up at Best Buy for like $20-$30, and they're really great. So this is a Jobst one right here, Joby one right here that I think actually came with this flex tripod, which also flexes open, which is very convenient, so I can sit down and do things. I've done a lot of interviews with this, with celebrities, and just set it there, and then him and I, or whoever, her and I, can just talk. So great stuff there.
And I guess the comment that I made earlier regarding having fun and whatever you're doing with the comic books, it pertains to your content on your YouTube channel as well. It's not all about having the coveted 1,000. How many watch hours do you have to have? What, 4? Is it 4,000? Whatever it is. And
I got the watch hours, but I don't have. I actually get a message. I think I have over 10,000 watch hours, but still I have less than 500 followers. So
wow.
I'm not really sure how that works, but yeah, please follow me. I need to get my follower count up. I get a lot of watchers.
Yeah, so Shelby's got a lot of stalkers, kind of like yeah. I kept having somebody cut the roses off and just send me the stems. Thought they were stalking me. So. But have fun at whatever you're doing, because it doesn't matter how many followers you have or what kind of content.
No,
Shelby likes to do all that video editing content. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I don't do any editing whatsoever. It's just exactly the way it comes out. So $10 at Walmart. I got the little Bluetooth clicker on there that I can detach and start the camera separate from that. And that's good enough for me. Shelby likes doing that. So, if you like the more expensive route, or if that's your thing, if you're a technical kind of a person and you like to do that, then go that route. Have some fun at it. Let's see. Makes a couple really nice
for the
cameras.
books. Yeah, I thought about that, seeing if I could find a camera bag that was just big enough for everything then. But I think I'd just rather have a small bag I can set the camera in. I don't know. But yeah, it could be a problem. But yeah, like Jay said, I do enjoy video editing. It's something I've been doing for a long time. And so I really like having high quality video that I can, work frame by frame in order to do some nice video editing and stuff with. But like I said, I've done 150 videos on YouTube with this guy. So, yeah. And I did blow up one battery because of it. So,
yeah, unless we're buying long boxes. See, that's it's been a while since I've been able to buy a long box at a con, just because prices went up. It'll be interesting to see if somebody is going to bring that kind of stuff to the con, to say, hey, look, it's $2-3 a book. We'll make you a deal if you fill up a whole long box. Because the last time I went to Dallas Fan Expo, it was nothing but bigger books. Probably Duncanville had for big tables. There was a couple of ones. They had a couple of long boxes. I'm not talking about that, but an actual big table of comics. Duncanville probably had the biggest selection price wise of any of them there. Of course, they're more of a local flavor, whereas everybody else is from out of town.
You will see a lot of dollar boxes around with smaller dealers, but I find the quality not to be there, nor the selection. And in some cases, they're not even bagged and boarded.
Yeah. And they're all beat up. Yeah.
They're all beat up.
See, like Jeremy, which he was down in Pensacon last year when I was there, but he runs the Huntsville Comic Pop Culture Expo too. But he goes around. He's a dealer, and that's how he started Huntsville. Was okay as a dealer. What would I like to see? And that's why they started Huntsville there. But he still does that, the $3 stuff, and largely doesn't go through the stuff. He just buys it so much in bulk. He's got to make room for something else, so might as well sell it versus it sitting there in his garage somewhere.
Yeah, so probably for quality and stuff, the $2, $3, $5 boxes. I always plan on making a stack, so I'll usually ask ahead of time, hey, if I do a stack, will you make a deal on it? Something like that. I'm not just gonna buy one or two books. So yeah.
Yeah.
Dolly. Hey, dude, you see some people walk in there with dollies with bungee cords of boxes strapped to the dollies and stuff. I mean, they come there and they don't spend money. They just trade to get their other books. Okay. And hey, that's 100% great. I've done it before, carried in trade material. I don't do it too often anymore, but if you've got some books that that are worth a little bit and want to trade, go and do that, man. Freaking save yourself some money. Think about the hobby paying for itself too. If you come across somebody that has $5 boxes, but they're doing 5 for $20, meaning you get one free. Frickin' buy some things you own and some things you can flip or something. Anything like that to help pay for the hobby, I am always an advocate for. So
yeah. So that would definitely be good. So and then we talked about going to the con, and I have gotten into where I'm more about buying books prior to the con these days. The Titan is going to be a big stop for us, just because of selection. But as far as I'm trying to think of any place where we could get some kind of deals like that. I have not, aside from Duncanville, but they I think said they were going to be closed come Monday in preparation for getting ready for the con. I think I saw something on Instagram about that.
There is big. I always get them mixed up between Big Time and the other Pastime.
Pastime.
It's Pastime. Pastime, they'll do a sale right before the cons.
Sometimes we just kid ourselves, Scott. But yeah. So Pastime, I did go to there. That's where I got the Ray Park signing done, and they had some dollar bin stuff. I've been noticing their post. It looks like they've been updating their store some, putting some more options out there. So it'd be interesting to go back there and see if they've got some more available there. But Pastime usually does have a booth at the Cowtown, but I don't know if they'll be here or
not. Pastime?
Yeah.
Oh, they did last year.
Okay.
I think so. I always use Google, and I look to see where the con is, and then I usually pick a hotel near that. And I'll go ahead and say this: if you're starting to, hey, Entropy, if you are planning on starting your con voyage, get in on the hotel deals. So, for example, I'm a Marriott member. I'm also a Hilton member, and so those are the two hotels I usually stay at, and so I get points from those. I also get a credit card that I use only for that hotel, and then I pay it off within a month. So if you don't have the money right then, I mean, you know, two nights at a hotel is going to be about $250 for me, and then I'll just pay it off a little bit, $50 a week. You know, for a month and a half, and boom, then it's paid for. But yeah, then I get my Marriott points and I get my Hilton points, and I can use those for things. I think the last time we stayed at that Hilton, I think I got one night for free and free breakfast because of my Hilton points. So, oh, but then when you're on Google, look to see what comic stores are around that area. But then what I do is I look at my route into Dallas. And so I know what route I'm taking, and I'll look for comic stores along that route. And
so we're going to go
I know Pastime Collectibles is right outside of Dallas, and it's actually on my route. So I might stop by Pastime on my way into town.
So we're going to go to Dallas Vintage Toys or no?
I'd love to. I haven't been there in a little bit. So
they got some cool stuff, and there's a couple Build-A-Figure pieces I'm missing. They probably believe we'll have their Interviewing Comics. Hello. No, Shelby said hello a while ago. But yeah, so that's one I want to go to. I usually go to Titan, although last time I raided, I got most of the Hulks that I needed at that point. So really not, they probably won't have anything I'm looking for because it hadn't been that long since I was there, but won't hurt to go. And they are right down the road from where CBCS's current headquarters is.
And this will be, you know, Jason and I, you know, I'll post. I'm not doing it this time, but sometimes I'll post on IG, hey, I'm going to such and such con. Anybody going? You know, meet up with people. I know I have a group of people I meet up with here in Houston that all go to Comicpalooza, and we meet up at least for a picture or something at the con and say hi to one another. You know, Jason and I are meeting up Friday afternoon. Hey, Flash by Night. Oh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. Jason and I are meeting up Thursday, so we'll have some time Thursday afternoon to hit some places, and I guess Friday morning before the con kicks off. So we'll have to figure out those details. But yeah, you know, that's what this thing is. It's about, we always say it's about community. Well, prove it. And, you know, reach out and see if you can get some people to meet up and stuff like that. And, you know, really enjoy meeting some people face to face. So
when I ran into Flash by Night at Huntsville last year, he wasn't there this year, but last year, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" So we talked for a little bit. Man, he was sitting there just digging. He was neck deep. I think I saw his feet at one point were sticking up in the air because he was all the way down in the the long boxes. And last year, Huntsville, Lady Fantastic and Short Box Padawan both came and showed up, and that was the first con that Lady F had ever been to. And so she liked it so much she came back again this year. So, but yeah, so I did drop Shelby's link in the chat. Sorry, I couldn't find anyone to meet up with in Houston earlier. Oh, dang.
But yeah, Hoarder's Hide, I think, just moved here to Houston recently. Last month? Oh, last month was the Bedrock City con, Bedrock City small con at the brewery.
So
yeah,
Scott,
I didn't go to that one.
Scott, what were you doing? You down there in business or something? Because you still live in Ohio, right? But anyway,
I'm mistaken. I think he lives here in Houston now. But I mean, I could be wrong.
So anyhow, I did drop Shelby's link in the chat. So if you're watching this on the rewind, NRA convention. There you go.
Sorry. Well, you could have contacted me. I would have visited up with you here. You'll be surprised when people come here for Houston. I've got to meet several people, like the guy that does pressing and cleaning. I had a couple of people that meet up with.
So talking about pressing and cleaning, I mentioned earlier having your books prepped before you go to the con. Press, I never seen until this year at Huntsville, a booth was actually there to press your books. And they were just slap full of people. And because people were buying books at the con, or they brought them to the con and said, "Oh, crap, I didn't even think about pressing them. Let me just get this guy to press it." Now, obviously, you're not talking about a very deep press with, you know, getting out hard to stuff. But, you know, if it's just making it freshening up a little bit, I was like, man, that is a brilliant idea. I don't know why I haven't seen that more at cons, other places I've been to.
Because heat presses are heavy.
Yeah, maybe so. They had several of them too. So they were really they really had it going on.
I have a large 15 by 15, and that's heavy.
Did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, me and Dustin were talking about it at the con about how brilliant of an idea it was. Yeah, so Heroes Con is one that I would love to have gone to, and I had tentative plans to. There is that is the week after Dallas Fan Expo. But there is a Jackson Con that week, and my wife is having surgery that week, so that is a no bueno. So unfortunately, not going to be able to go to Heroes Con. But Jim Steranko actually told me, because he said, "What do you do? What do you like to do? Where you know with cons?" And he told me Heroes Con is the one you want to go to for that.
I'd love to go to Heroes Con.
Yeah. So definitely on the I mentioned the wish list earlier. I should have mentioned Heroes Con as well. I know that Mark from Legion of Comics is going to be at Heroes Con this year, and I think Nick's Kicks and Comics, who is actually in Dallas. He's actually in Dallas, and mentioned that he might actually come by Friday. But we'll see. Yeah. Thanks, TJ. But that's kind of our game plans. Shelby, as we are wrapping up, because we're right over an hour, and do appreciate everybody that's been hanging out with us. If you haven't already done so, smash that like button. And you've seen Shelby's link I dropped in the chat. If you're watching this live, go over there and give Shelby a sub up. Or if you're watching this on the rewind, it is in the description below. But Shelby, as we get ready to get out of here, any more thoughts as we say our parting pieces?
I think we've covered everything. If anybody ever wants us to look for something, I know I had a few people reach out to me actually after the comic book cartoon show yesterday.
Okay.
2 people reached out to me with a small list of things they're looking for. So I'm always happy to keep an eye out because I know some people don't live near comic shops, and that's the reason why they appreciate us doing these auctions and sales like that online, because that's their easiest route to purchase comics. So we're always welcome to do that. I think that either of us would be happy to get an autograph for you, just charge you what the autograph cost us, within reason. Don't ask for 5 or 6 books or anything like that. But, if there's somebody particular that you really love, let me know, let either of us know. But yeah, other than that, should be fun. We'll be dropping some content, probably some quick videos while at the con, but then expect next week a really nice bigger video all edited up and stuff that we'll be dropping. So and maybe split it up as a part 1 and 2 or something across both of our channels. And yeah, so you want to be sure and sub up both of us so you don't miss any of that great content.
So you'll be on the Madhouse tomorrow night, I'm assuming?
I will. I'll be on the Madhouse tomorrow night, so I will be doing some pre-convention sales. If you want to pick up some good deals, I'll be selling things at good prices. And so thank you for remembering that.
So as far as me and this channel, there will be a video that's dropped while I'm at the con regarding the second channel exclusive. That channel exclusive has a regular foil and gold addition to it. You, as a channel member, will be entered in to win, which is going to be this month's giveaway. So if you want to get in on this month's giveaway, all you have to do is be a member to get 10 entries to win per membership, or do a super chat, 1 entry per $1 super chat given, or you can do all of it. It doesn't really matter. More chances, obviously, to win. But the channel members will all be notified before that video actually goes live. So you'll actually have the first chance to get in on it if you want to, and it will be 10% off of what everybody else pays for it. So membership definitely pays for itself. Speaking of members, I do want to shout out those channel members, especially those of you that are hanging out in the chat right now. Most of these people are content creators of their own and have been gifted the blue wrench of power. And as Spidey has always told us, with great power comes great responsibility. Your responsibility is not only to keep little riffraff out of the chat, but your responsibility is also to drop your own channel link. It's okay. Just don't make it, weirder than what it has to be. Just drop your own channel link. Other people might not be familiar with you, and that's how they become familiar with you. So if you see a name on that list that you were not familiar with, go check them out and give them a sub up, give them a follow, and all that other kind of good stuff. And it's always a good time to save some money, especially as high as everything is getting. Visit bcwsupplies.com. Use the coupon code SCG at checkout to save yourself 10% on your order. And with that, Shelby, we're going to get out of here. Until next time, keep reading, keep collecting.
Peace, love, and comics. Bye.